What is good, JoJo Squad? It's your boy JoJo, and I told you I was gonna do a part 2 to the vlog in Manhattan, but this isn't so much a vlog, this is an interview. I have a very special treat for those of you who are into astrology. Here is the world-renowned astrologer, Lloyd Strayhorn.
How are you, sir? Thank you so much for the fine introduction, JoJo Flo.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you about astrology. Astrology is fascinating. It is composed of zodiac signs, and how that is determined by taking the month and day a person is born. So let's take you for an example, JoJo. What's your birthday?
My birthday is April 8th, 2004, and I noticed astrology is horoscopes.
Yes, it's
I
the
am
same.
very into horoscopes.
It's interchangeable. When they say astrology, that means you're dealing with the zodiac signs and the horoscope itself, okay? So when you said you were born on April 8th, you happen to be in Aries, which I think is ironic because any astrology book you open up, you know what sign they always start with? Without
Aries.
exception, the sign of Aries. Some of my greatest heroes have been Aries. My dad was an Aries, Paul Robeson in Aries, Jack Johnson in Aries, Colin Powell in Aries. So there's a lot of good people that come under your constellation.
I
And
think
then
I
the
know
same
why
for all
Aries
the
shows up
signs.
first, though.
Why is that?
Probably because they put the books in alphabetical order.
No, that's not necessarily true because the next would have been Aquarius. And that's the 11th sign in the zodiac, okay?
True.
Number 12. But I understand where you're coming from. However, so be it that each and every one of us. Oh, I'll have to call him back. Sorry about that in the interview.
Oh, no, it's okay.
So at any rate, I think that for the most part, astrology is fascinating. It is easy to learn. It is extremely accurate and very insightful. Each person is divinely special. When you understand it, it takes millions of sperms to go after one egg, and that egg produces each and every one of us, so that makes us all very special.
Yes, I have living environment class at my
Yeah.
school. I've
Yeah.
learned about this.
But that's reality of the matter. And the nice thing about it is every single one of us has some contribution to make to humanity and ourselves. So that's what I do. And then I'm into numerology also, which is even more fascinating. So not only did you say you were born on April 8th, which means you are an Aries, but numerically you're a number 8 person because you're born on the 8th day of the month. And this number tells a lot about people. Number 8 first of all, rules money, okay? Or some of the great founders of financial institutions, J.P. Morgan, the famous financier, was born on the 17th, 1 plus 7 is 8. Then you have John D. Rockefeller that founded the famous Rockefeller dynasty. He was born on the 17th of July, 1 plus 7 is 8. Then Muhammad Ali, when he came on the scene, nobody was making money till he came. Now you get a guy like Floyd Mayweather that gets $50 million for a fight.
He's the most I heard he's the richest athlete in the richest athlete in the world, even richer than
that
LeBron.
is probably so. But the second best number to the number 8 in finance is the number 6, and Floyd Mayweather is born on the 24th of February, and 2 plus 4 is 6. So I think it's very interesting that you observe those things and how these numbers work.
Excuse me, I have a question. Sorry. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
go right ahead.
Sorry for
interview.
interrupting you.
You go right ahead.
Anyways, how I don't get this. Like, even though someone is born a certain month, they say it affects their personality. How so? I mean, how does a month determine a person's personality?
Well, don't forget, during different periods of the year, every one of us are influenced differently. And what happens is, so for example, March Aries are totally different than April Aries. January Aquarians are totally different than February Aquarians, okay? So then you have some that are born at night, you have some born in the morning, you have some born in China, which means China is 12 hours ahead of us right now. Then you may have somebody born in Hawaii, and they are 5 hours behind us right now. If they're in California, they are 3 hours behind us. So this is why in astrology, when you come to them, please have your time of birth. Exactly. Not just to say you're born on the month, the day, and the year, but what time and where you were born. Because then astrology got to put all those things together.
I know all the information.
What time were you born?
I was born April 8th, 2004, Holy Thursday, 1:09 a.m.
Yes.
In New York?
in Brooklyn, in downtown Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, good. Now, he is rare. You are very, very rare. Adults especially don't have as much accurate information like that. Most birth certificates now in time don't even include the time of birth, which is most important to an astrologer, which is what led me to the subject of numerology, because I didn't need to know the time. If I knew you were born on April the 8th of 2004, I think you said?
Yes.
Born in 2004, then that means I don't need that information, and it tells me you are a fire sign with an earth number, which means you're very passionate yet very practical.
I'm a fire
very
sign.
mature. Yes.
That's interesting because considering my favorite element is fire. My mom knows plenty about that.
Yeah, well, you are a fire sign, and that would make sense. And when I did your name in numerology, you had a lot of fire numbers. You had about 3 or 4 fire and air numbers. Fire represents people symbolically who are action-oriented. Instead of just sitting around talking about it, fire signs say, okay, what are we going to do about it, guys? Okay?
You know, it's all, but just Zion means fire of the Lord.
Or God's fire, which is interesting.
That's interesting not knowing that.
Which is kind of interesting considering when I made a comic, I had this thing I got from a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. We used to sit around. We had this app called Color Note. Mm-hmm. Hashtag Color Note sponsor me. And when we use this app,
I like him. He's gonna make money.
And whenever we use this app, we used to make all these comic books. We used to make all these comics, we used to write up all these stories of made-up heroes that we created in our minds. And one of them, I made a story. I made a story about myself because I admit that sometimes I can be a little narcissistic.
Well, at least you're honest. At least you're honest. You're very honest. But that is typical of Aries.
But I'm not always narcissistic, but sometimes I can take myself too far. And I made my first comic about me. And
let me say this for you.
The character's name, his hero name, was God's Fire. And I wasn't even thinking about the fact that my name meant God's Fire.
Yes, and not only that, but then you happen to be coincidentally a fire sign. Okay? So I think all these things becomes no coincidence as understanding that there's a divine design in all of us, that sometimes we want to be born on somebody else's birthday, but you can't. So what are you going to do? You can't run and hide somewhere. You can't disappear. You shouldn't take yourself off the map by way of suicide or anything too, because you're unhappy. But you make the most of it. And also environment too. So for example, you could have a person born on the same month, day, and year as you, but don't have a loving mother like you or a supporting mother like you.
I understand that because I met someone like that, honestly.
Yeah.
His name was Miguel Fernandez. He's a friend he goes to my school, and he was born the exact same day as me. He was born the exact same month, exact same year, exact same day. Mm-hmm. But he was born he was born at night. I was born in the morning, which makes me older than him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. But so this is why you can have a person born under very, terrible conditions, and they wind up being great, and just vice versa too. In your case, it's very obvious. If people knew who your mother was, they could understand the character. And it's not now narcissistic. I don't look at yours as narcissistic, I look at yours as having confidence, which is what young black men need. Okay? That has been a thing that has been sorely lacking in our community among our black men. To have the kind of confidence that they feel good about themselves, that they can accomplish things, that they feel are proud to boast about the things they've done, and because they've done it, not just talk and talk. So it says a lot about you. And as I says, I always like Aries, so you now on my Aries list, along with my dad, along with Jack Johnson, along with Paul Robeson, along with Colin Powell, along with Kofi Annan, and a host of other people.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I appreciate that. And I am very interested in horoscopes now, but I have another question for you. What other signs are Aries compatible with? And I want you to count from the lowest compatibility to the from like how many signs are we compatible with? Just give me the number first, and I'm gonna tell you what order I want them in.
Well, there would be 6 signs that Aries would be compatible with, starting first with the fire sign, then next the air.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about other zodiac symbols that the Aries is compatible with.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Anyways, I want you to count from least compatible, being number 6, to most compatible, being number 1.
Can I start at the top and work backwards? Okay. I'm going to start at the top. Aries would work best primarily with Leo.
A Leo.
Yeah, Leo is that born in the month of late July, August.
Mm-hmm.
Then next, because they're picking the fire signs, next would be Sagittarius, because that's late November into December, and it's a fire sign. Then next would come the air numbers like Aquarius. I am an Aquarius. My dad was an Aries. It's an air sign ruling late January into February.
Oh, that is
the next
interesting.
air sign would be a Gemini. What's interesting?
No, my dad is an Aquarius, and I'm an Aries.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, my man. That's why we're doing this blog, okay? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So anyway, then the third air sign would be Libra, which is those born late September into October, and of course, leave